Greetings and Happy New Year. I'm going to start out 2019 a little differently than I have in the past by taking part in Ethany Dawn's 31 Days of Tarot 19 challenge. I understand she's done this for 3 or 4 years in the past. I've never seen it, never taken part in it, and I really didn't think it was really appropriate for me because it's really for members of the tarot community, particularly those who do collect a lot of tarot decks, because some of the questions seem to imply that we have a lot of decks to choose from and that every year we're buying new decks. Well, that's not normally the case with me, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that up until just a few years ago, I really only ever worked really with one deck, possibly two, but mainly one deck, and that was my hoi polloi. I think in 2017, something inspired me to look for the second time at a deck I've had for a while, which was the Wildwood Tarot. And from there, I branched out and got a few more decks, and I started watching with more of the videos in the tarot community with people that are collecting decks, watching their walkthroughs of the deck, flip-throughs, I guess they call them, of their decks. And I got a little bit intrigued by some of the decks, and I saw that it was useful to have more than one deck for different reasons. So I thought for that reason I would, since I have taken the plunge and bought a few more decks during the course of 2018, that I was maybe able to do most of this challenge. So I'm going to try to do it because I'd really like to try. I'd like to try. And share some of my thoughts about some of the decks that I have purchased and used, and also some other kinds of things that relate to the tarot. So, there's like, I'm going to try to do these little short videos. I don't want to be too wordy because that's not the idea. So I'm going to do my best to answer as I can with my limited experience with multi-decks. Okay, so anyway, the first one today, the first challenge for today is a special 2-card reading, which is going to show the energy that is present when I begin the new year, that will hopefully be with me through the year, and a major lesson that is going to be learned, or needs to be learned. I'm not sure how. And for this, I decided to use my Cat's Eye Tarot. If you saw any of my videos in the later part of, well, I don't know, I think I put the videos up in 2017 and 18, when I did the readings for the cat rescue group, is when I first found this deck, and I revisited it afterwards because I thought it really was reading really well for me. I thought there was a lot of lessons to learn. I identified with the deck as a cat owner, and this year of all years, 2018, I really had some lessons to learn with my cats. They had some lessons to teach me. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to find out the energy and the lessons I'm going to learn this year from the Cat's Eye Tarot. Okay, so I have gone ahead and drawn the 2 cards that I needed to draw. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I'm trying to clear my area space here for the reading. I'm going to be reorganizing this parlor hopefully this week. And I've been holding off doing readings in here, so because it's a little bit cluttered. So I thought I would at least cleanse my space here for this reading. So I hope the incense is not getting in your way. The first card that I've dealt is the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is a cute little card, and in the Rider-Waite tradition, it usually means something nostalgic, something having to do with nostalgia. Here we have 2 little kittens, kind of snuggling in the grass, in the tall grass, among the flowers. But often we see it as, you know, they're just, I think in the Rider-Waite deck we see as somebody handing some flowers to another person. So it talks a lot about acts of kindness and things like that. But our nostalgia. it's kind of interesting that this came up for the energy in this deck, because this year my husband and I are really making some major changes in our lifestyle, in the fact that we're really making an effort now that we're retired, not just to, you know, relax and let things happen as that will happen, but we're really taking charge of our leisure time, if you want to say, if you want to call it leisure time, although I think we're much busier than we were in the past because we have so many projects going on. But we're really taking charge of our time, since it's all our own, since we get to decide when we do what and if we do what. Sometimes that can be really dangerous. Sometimes you can't really trust yourself to get up and do things, since if nobody's going to make you do it. So, but we're really trying to make a conscious effort to get up and accomplish what we want to accomplish and really enjoy life together. And part of it is, you know, redefining our roles a little bit. And both of these cards actually speak to that. But at any rate, the first one talks about things in the past and being nostalgic. And you know my history. I've been with my husband since I was a 14-year-old girl. We dated for 5 years and was married. I was married at 19. I've been married to him since. We've raised children together. We have a grandchild. We have, you know, we've owned several homes, and we've moved across the country. We've done a lot of things. And at this part of our life, it's really easy to be nostalgic and look back and, you know, the way things were in the past. But we see that we have to redefine things now in our present. It's okay to enjoy the past and look back at the past, but you can't live in the past. And I think this is what the Six of Cups is telling us, that we can enjoy it, we can have fun memories, but we're still making memories every day. No matter where we are in life, we're still making memories. So you have to keep continually getting up and getting to it. And these two kittens in the grass is very much us. Because we have to be sure our relationship can withstand it. Our relationship is going through a change. Now that we're both in charge of our own lives, it's different. We don't have, you know, our jobs or our children or our school or whatever calling to us. We're not waiting for paychecks to come in. Our paychecks have come in. We're just trying to live off of the money that we have and do this kind of thing. So we have to guard against remembering the past at the expense of the future, because our future is just as important now as it was when we were young. So that's sort of the energies that are really, and I can feel these energies in our life. I thought this was really interesting. The other thing that really caught my eye was the Two of Cups is the second card. And the Two of Cups are two cats, again, and they're rubbing on each other. Again, they're showing affection, just like the first two, showing affection. We still have a lot of affection, my husband and I, for each other, of course. And the lesson, what is the lesson that's going to be learned? Well, these two cats, I want to say and point out that these two cats are equal. There's not one that is larger than the other or smarter than the other. They're both the same kind of cat. They're both the same black and white, bushy-tailed cats. They remind me a lot about my two cats. My two young black cats I've showed you in the past was kittens, Fezziwig and Twitchit. They are big, fluffy fluffies right now with their winter coats, big puff balls of sometimes trouble. I told you how they share one brain. They're so close with each other. They share a brain and they conspire to do things and get into trouble. But neither one of them dominates the other. And this is what I see in this picture. Neither one dominating the other. Both are equal. And I have to say, my husband and I have always had a relationship where we don't really dominate. Neither of us really dominate. Like, we've never had the kind of, even, you know, no matter what kind of a job I did work, some during the marriage, off and on, a lot of the marriage, I never could come close to making what my husband made, even though I had a bigger education, larger education than he did, a lot more education, a lot more preparation for things. That's sort of the way our society is set up, that women do not quite make equal to what men make. But even though he made a lot of money, more money than I did, he did not dominate the decisions of what we did with the money. Even though I spent more time maybe raising children and doing things in the house, I didn't really dominate. He had I maybe did a little bit, but he had as much say into what we did in the home and how we raised the children, of course, than I did. So even though we have that kind of relationship to begin with, now that we're retired and we don't really have any responsibilities, any job, we have to guard against the danger that our job becomes each other. I have to guard against the danger of having my husband become my job, or he the same. So these little kittens talk to that. They're equal, they're not challenging, one is not dominating the other. They are both showing affection, equal affection to each other. And I think this is the card that the lesson is going to be taught to me, and it needs to be taught. I need to make sure that we remain, that no, even in our retirement, even in our leisure, even with what we're doing, that we both work very, very hard on maintaining an equal footing, an equal relationship in the marriage. And that neither one of us dominates, now that we're free to do so, maybe more than we were, that neither one of us, that we both think of the other person as much as we think of ourselves. As people age, they get very egocentric and they turn into, maybe they're worried about health problems, whatever. That's the danger as people age. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen in our marriage, so we still keep that open line of communication, openness of affection, showing affections. Yes, remembering the past. Yes, remembering the past, being nostalgic about the past, but also being excited about the future, which is to lie in front of us, whatever's happening in the future, to be just as excited. Anyway, that's my 2 cards. I'm anxious to see. I'm going to make a little journal entry of my 2 cards and see how they stand up for the year. Okay, so if you tune in, I'm going to have a little playlist of these little prompts. Watch them or don't. I will not be offended if you do not. But anyway, I'm going to have one every day for the month of January. So, okay, thank you for watching. As always, I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.